No, the devil is a lie. If you came for something else, this is all I got. Nobody wants to believe that of all the ways in which God could communicate, that God would choose such frail, flawed vessels. Yes, these men and women were not always free of mind and agile of tongue. These men and women who Paul, the Apostle Paul, the Reverend Right Dr. Paul. Yeah, y'all know Paul, who used to be Saul. More than any other stood in the preacher's predicament. Paul was called, and yet at the same time he was reviled for his call. He was tormented by an inescapable urge to preach, and at the same time he was tormented by those who did not wish to hear his preaching. Paul was certain that God had called him to preach, but at the same time certain that, as he said, when I would do good, evil was always. In other words, just because I do a little wrong sometimes, don't mean that God didn't call me to. Talking about the preacher's predicament. Confident that he had been sent to liberate others, yet at the same time he himself was in prison. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Turn to your neighbor and say, in prison. That's the word I'm seeking. Paul described his predicament, and he described himself as a prisoner. To hear Paul telling everybody else called him a preacher, Pastor Parker. But in fact, Paul says, I am a prisoner. The reason why Paul knows that he is a prisoner because of his handcuffs, because of his bonds, because of the chains on his feet. Yeah. Don't you find it strange that when Paul referred to himself as a prisoner in chains, a prisoner in bonds, it's right there in the book. Ephesians 3:1, I, Paul, the prisoner of Christ for you Gentiles. Ephesians 4:1, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called. 2 Timothy 1:8, be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me, his prisoner. In the book. Then here in these last lines of his writing to the church of Ephesus, Paul reaches for even an eloquent definition. And speaks of himself as an ambassador in bonds. This is what Paul says, when I think of myself, I am a prisoner. Even though I'm supposed to be a preacher. When I think of myself, I am a courier. But I'm also a convict. I have a gospel that sets others free. But when I look at myself, I'm looking at my handcuffs. I'm looking at my chains. That is why you need to pray for me. Among other things, I am an ambassador in bonds. In other words, preacher, don't you know every time you look around, God is always giving you a word for somebody else, but when you look at your own self, you're still struggling? That is a preacher's predicament. I have serious concerns for those who come to the engagement of ministry with no sense of fear and trembling. I am concerned about a breed of persons who perceive ministry and come to the ministry not because of a divine summons, but because of a vocational choice. I rise this afternoon to tell you that this preaching business is about wearing handcuffs. It's about wearing chains. The one who claims to have been called does not know it yet, but he or she is on the way to wearing handcuffs. These robes we wear are really nothing more than parish garb. These suits we wear really ought to have stripes all over because we are really in convict's clothing. Everywhere I go, I tend to attract attention, not because of who I am, but because of the handcuffs. I am not here by choice. I am here because of a warrant that has arrested me, confined me, altered my perspective, and rearranged my life. My position here is about wearing hands. My predicament is such that when you see me, you must understand that what I look like externally is not what I am inside. I am an ambassador in God. Let me assure you that there is no diplomatic immunity from the bond predicament. If you are a preacher worthy of the name, you have some bond fun time coming. If it is your assignment to do like Isaiah 58:1 says, cry aloud and spare not. If it is your appointed duty to preach the unsearchable riches of our Christ, then it will not be very long before you become acquainted with your handcuffs. Become acquainted with the chains. I have come here confined in my bonds, dressed in these chains. Now here I am, insulted by the handcuffs. And I want to know why I got to wear them. In other words, let me throw this in parenthetically. The church itself is a part of and parcel to my predicament. What are you saying, preacher? Paul says that the source of my predicament is in the church. The thing that frustrates me, evangelist, is not what goes on down in City Hall, but what goes on in the church. I don't have a problem with the drug addicts and the winos. The problem I have is with the saved and sainted, filled with the Holy Ghost. On the front pew on the right hand side. I didn't say it, Paul said it. He said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in our place. That spiritual wickedness means the spiritual church who God was talking about when he said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves, turn from the wicked. All right? It's in the book. Talking about the preacher's predicament. The thing that concerns me is spiritual wickedness. Yeah, that wickedness that wears church clothes. That wickedness that wears badges and quarrels. That wickedness that knows how to speak church talk, but will curse you out in the park. Yeah. That wickedness that knows how to speak in tongues and dance a holy dance, but won't say good morning to the brothers and sisters. That wickedness that knows how to carry a Bible, but will never read. Knows how to lift up holy hands, but will not lend a hand. The problem we face is not in the world, it's in the church. The preacher's predicament. The reasons I am here in these chains, in these handcuffs, is not because of what somebody did out there, but because of somebody who got a little jealous. And instead of praising God for his own, they begin to scandalize and talk about you behind your back. And some of them that got bold enough, and they'll talk about you in your face. Talking about the preacher's predicament. I am still searching for the reason for the handcuffs. It could be, Brother Timothy, that the reason for my wearing chains is that authentic preaching is always a product of pain. Authentic preaching, real preaching, is always a product of pain. In other words, you got to go through the pain. The other day, while walking through the airport over in Rome, Georgia, I saw a young man neatly dressed and handsome in appearance. There was nothing exceptionally remarkable about him, except he could hardly walk because of the handcuffs on his feet. And a guard was standing by, no doubt delivering him from one jail cell to another. Yet, when you take a more casual glance at it, I could see the hurt in his eyes, the sadness in his soul, and the humiliation in the stoop of his shoulders. I am not sure how this works, but somehow I do know that it is out of the pain that my preaching is produced. That preaching is authentic when it comes from pain to pain. I must never forget that while in the process sitting out before me is walking around in